Hey, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Faithfully Her. I am your girl, Liana Michelle, and today we have with us Toria Howard. Toria is originally from Detroit, Michigan. She currently does reside in Memphis, Tennessee. She is a graduate of Michigan State University, and she is an alumni also of Wayne State University, where she earned her master's. She also earned her second master's degree from the University of Arkansas. So our sister is educated, okay? You better catch that. For 15 years, she taught high school as well as coached the girls' basketball team. But in 2022, that all changed when she decided to pursue her passion and started her own real estate investment company. Sisters out here doing it for themselves, okay? So everybody, please put your hands together and give a big round of applause to Mrs. Toria Howard.
Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Giving it back to you and your platform.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for just taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to us. I want to just kind of get into your journey from going from, high school teacher, basketball coach, to jumping over into independent businesswoman, real estate investment. How did we get there?
So I love to educate. I love to teach. I love to be in front of people talking. I always wanted to be a lawyer. Okay. I wanted to be, ever since I was 8, I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. And then I wanted to be the first Black woman to start her own sports agency where I, be an agent for, athletes. So I always had a platform where I was always talking.
Okay.
So that dream got deferred because I let someone talk me out of my dream. And I ended up, getting into substitute teaching when I graduated from Michigan State, because during that time, 9/11 had happened 2 years prior, and I was in the transportation industry. And anybody remember, the transportation industry was like really messed up at that time because of 9/11. And it took about 5 years for it to kind of bounce back. So I couldn't find a job. So I ended up being a substitute teacher, and people were like, substitute teaching. And but I really enjoyed it. So I was like, I related to the kids. I was 22, I was teaching 11th and 12th graders. So, it was cool. And I went and got my master's, and I really enjoyed teaching, but it just started bothering me the longer and longer that I stayed in teaching, because I was never an establishment person. Let me say that. I've always been the type of person that I'm going to speak out on things that I don't think is right, especially when it comes to our children.
Yes.
Our Black children at that.
Yes.
And I just saw that the educational system was getting further and further away from what I felt like was right. I felt like, I was a part of a system that was literally and figuratively killing our kids. And I say that because the curriculum did not relate to them, to try to put them on the level that they needed to, because what they didn't understand is I can go and teach Macbeth and all of that, but if you're reading on the 3rd grade level and you don't have lights at home, you don't care about Macbeth.
Right.
Okay. So you push this curriculum on these children that can barely understand, and you get mad at me when they cannot produce what you want them to produce. I can't get them to write a 5-page paper when they can barely read See Spot Run.
Right.
Okay? So it just got me further and further. It just started bothering me. And then the last straw was when I was on this October 2020, was happening in September 2020. I had started my real estate investment company. I was gonna still keep my job until it took off. And it just bothered me. I was on a meeting with a young man, his mom, and some other people, and they were evaluating him for graduation. And they said, oh, well, let's look at your reading scores and your math scores. And he was in 12th grade. And they said, well, oh, well, your math is on 6th grade level. That is awesome. And that is great. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not. I'm thinking, and he'd say, oh, and you want to be a doctor. Oh, you're going to be a great doctor, and going on and on. And I'm thinking, he's not even on 8th grade level. I was confused. And then when they was like, well, your reading level, oh, let's check that. Oh, you're on 2nd grade level in reading. And I just was like, I got off the Zoom because I just couldn't be a part of that. And then a parent was co-signing this. And I was just like, this is asinine to me. So I was like, after that, it was just toiling in me. I couldn't do it anymore. So it was just like, I was laying in my bed one night and I was praying because I could not sleep because it just bothered me. Like, I'm a part of this system because you are wrecking this child's future by telling him that he can go to college when we know he cannot. And when he find out he cannot, then his self-esteem is dwindled. And then he goes out and commits crimes and do all these different things because we done broke him. We done broke his spirit because we lied to him all these years. And I couldn't be a part of that anymore. So I laid in the bed one night and I was praying like, Lord, like I cannot do this anymore. And it just came to me and was like, trust me.
Amen.
And that's here I am.
Amen. So you had to go through the real estate courses.
Yes. So, well, not for being a real estate investor. So real estate investor, you don't have to have a license. But because I am a nerd, as you can see with all the degrees, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a lifelong learner. I always like to learn. I wanted to learn that the buying and selling side so that I can be more knowledgeable on when I started doing it on my own. So nobody wouldn't be able to trick me.
Right.
And I don't know, what was going on. So I took the real estate class just to get the knowledge and just to have a license. Like, oh, I got a real estate license. I really wasn't planning on practicing real estate. And I took a fast track class. So about time, it was like 3 weeks. So about time I got finished, she was like the last couple of days, she was like, oh, now it's time for you to think about what brokerage you want to be with and where you're going to hang your license, because you have to pick a brokerage to keep your license. I looked, I said, oh, so I really got to do this for real? Okay, so here we go. I'm a realtor now. So it just fell in my lap. And anything that happens in that way, I just take it on full on and just keep it pushing and work it at the best of my ability. So
yeah, because God had already told you to trust him.
Right.
So he was gonna go ahead on and continue to guide your footsteps on the path that he had already laid out for you. And before we go any further, I just want to commend you on noticing the broken pieces within the educational system. Because if somebody doesn't speak out about it, no one will. And I know for me, when I was raising my son and he was going through school, my mother and I were very, very strenuous with him when it came to schoolwork. So even in the summertime, when kids got to go outside and play, he had an hour a day of schoolwork that he still had to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Where we sat at the table and we read and we did math problems and, those type of things to keep him going. So if he was in the 1st grade, we were giving him 2nd grade assignments and workbooks at home that my mother would go to the teacher store and go and buy. So we made sure he stayed on track as a Black boy growing up in the city, in the school system. We made sure on our end that we were doing everything we were supposed to do. And a lot of parents don't do that.
No, they don't.
They send their kids to school and whatever that teacher says, that's what they go with, and they just keep it moving. And they're not taking that additional time at home to sit with that child and say, what did you do in school today? Let's review some things. Let me pop some questions out and do, like, they're not taking the extra time that child really does need for full comprehension. So kudos to you, my sister, for standing up and saying no more.
I just couldn't do it. It was tragic because I used to tell my students the real deal though, because I was an English teacher. So I had your reading scores. So if I knew your reading scores were low, that means your math scores were not that far behind. Some of them were better in math and reading or whatever, or vice versa. But the school system now pushed college. And everybody doesn't want to go to college or can't go to college because they have different talents and skills. And you don't have to go to college to get to make a lot of money. It's a lot of trades out here that make way more money than a college graduate, and in shorter time. But what was not done, what was taken away is letting the children explore and be creative and let them see what they like to do and explore their creativity. You can't take music and art and wood shop and home economics and auto mechanics and all these different things. They even taking cosmetology away now. You
Yeah.
cannot continue to take away the creative abilities of these children and force feed them college. All they're going to do, these children are different. They're not going to conform. They're going to rebel.
Right.
I've seen it. Even in my 11-year-old, it doesn't matter what we do. She's still going to do whatever she wants. And they have that attitude. I even did a career fair, in full circle moment. I did a career fair at one of the school districts that fired me. And because of my voice. And a lot of them was like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go. I was there as a real estate agent. I was telling them, it was so many kids that came over to me, like, I don't want to go. Like, so to push that narrative on them, they don't want it.
Right.
They don't have the desire for it. And to not let them be able to explore their creative and what they're good at, it's tragic for me.
It
and
is.
I just
It is. My son told me that too, because we were pushing college. You like, you're gonna be an educated Black man. You know what I'm saying? We were pushing that, and we chose the career we wanted. Like, he mentioned one time that of sports medicine, and my mother and I ran with sports medicine. So we were geared up. We're sending you to college. You're gonna be sports medicine. You know what I'm saying? And he said, that's not what I want to do. And he said, I want to go into music. I want to, be a producer and this and that. And my only thing to him was, at that time, was, okay, so you don't want to do traditional college or anything, but I need for you to be educated in that industry. I need for you to be able to have that contract in front of you and you understand. And whatever you don't understand, you're smart enough to question. So if you go to school for that, then we'll be okay. And he ended up going to school and getting his degree in recording engineering and so forth and so on. But now he's doing something that is happy. He's happy with it. He loves it. If he puts in 5 days a week of 17 hours a day, he is happy with that. And, and that's what I think matters, because I always say, I want him to be happy and healthy. So if he's doing something that's making him happy and he can earn a living from it, then I'm happy for him. And I support him all the way in what he's doing. So you're absolutely right. There's so many different avenues for these children nowadays, things that they can do to express their talent and then be happy with who they are and earn their living from it.
And still make a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Be successful. You go to school and end up having student loans if your parents don't have a college fund like me.
Girl, I just paid off $250,000 in student loans. And most of them were mine, but I did also absorb my son's because I didn't want him to have that on his back. So I absorbed that as well. So trust me, I know I'm 47 years old, just paid these dang on things. So I totally get that, which leads me into my next question with financial literacy. So in my era, we didn't get those talks about, credit and, the proper banking methods and things of that nature. So it was a lot of just tripping over yourself, trial and error. So when you speak of financial literacy to your potential customers or clients, what types of things are you looking for, and what type of advice or guidance are you giving?
So it all depends on what they're trying to do as far as their goals with their finances. A lot of people come to me because they want to buy a home, and the home buying process is a very tedious process, and a lot of people are not educated. And that's my platform now, as to teach people about how to get their finances in order to be able to be homeowners, because home ownership is the stepping stone to, wealth. I know people say now like, oh, you can do other things, Bitcoin and do all of this, but the foundation is that one asset that you can use to leverage to be able to buy Bitcoin, to go invest in, things like that. You use the asset, the debt asset to leverage. So so if they come with me as far as, they know their credit is bad, and they know they don't have a structure, I ask them, what their credit score. If they don't know, then I know for a fact that that it's bad, because people that have good credit always looking at it because they know they want to make sure they're managing it properly. So, I just tell them the importance of, looking at your credit score, because, it's a lot of scams going on, and people are they go and they use people with lower credit scores to do the scams and do these different things because they know you're not looking. So, we start there, and I ask them what their goals are, and I explain to them it's a process. And it could be a long process. A lot of people, because we live in this microwave society, want things to happen overnight. Now, there are programs that it can happen overnight for you, but apparently you don't have the funds to be able to do it, because those programs cost a lot of money.
Right.
They cost multiple thousands of dollars to be able to do it. So, I just tell them it is a process. I give them a game plan depending on where they are. A lot of people don't even have credit, so it all depends. So if they come in, they don't have credit, I should give them ways that they can use their rent to put on their credit report. If they've been renting for 2 years or more, they can use that as a trade line in their own name, and they can start with a secure card. And then they can build it up that way, so they can have those natural trade lines. Now, those are people that already have credit established and they have those accounts. I just make sure, like, some people need to just pay their debt now. So I give them a plan on how to pay their debt down. We have a debt payoff tool, a savings goals tool, and a budgeting tool, all the things that they will need to be financially literate, because you have to know where your money is going. You have to have a goal, for your savings. Your savings should be a part of your expenses. And then I give them a way to pay down their debts and give them a plan, because a lot of people just think, they don't know how to really tackle the debt. It's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, I give them a structure on, start with the smaller ones, still pay your minimum balances on the higher ones, put more into the smaller one, pay that off. The same payment that you was giving them, you stack that to the next one.
Yeah.
Include the minimum payment, because you're not missing that money. Include the minimum payment, and that same payment you was paying that other one, pay that one off faster, stack the other one, do the same thing. Whatever you was paying there, keep the minimum payment for that one, use that same payment you was paying for that last one. And I just tell them a stacking kind of method, because you're not missing the money because you're already paying it.
Right.
Once you free up that debt, that's the fastest way you can clear up debt, because sometimes those things don't come off your credit report with a dispute. So you have to have a plan to be able to pay those certain debts off. Now, if it's in collections or charged off and they still won't come off, we got a plan for you to be able to settle that debt without having those negative marks on your credit report, but you have to put it in writing.
Yes.
No telling them over the phone. You have to make sure you put that plan in writing. And a lot of times you can settle that debt for half of what you owe, and then you have to pay it off by a certain date. That'll help you as well. So I just give them a structured plan to either pay off the debt or build their credit, because that's what a lot of people don't do, because it's so overwhelming. They need a plan. You need a financial plan and see the plan. Because a lot of us are visual learners, because we watch so much TV, we watch our phone, we don't really, comprehend if we don't see it.
Yeah.
So, that is, how I just have them structure it. And then once they're ready, then we go through the buying process, which is another process in itself. So, because you have to have everything in order to be able to go to the lender, because you don't want to waste the lender's time. That's my relationship that I have with them. I can't spoil my relationship because I didn't do my due diligence on the front end.
Right.
And then you get mad at me because they don't want to work with you.
Yes.
It's going to blow back on me anyway. I'm going to lose my relationship, and then you're going to be mad at me too. So I done lost a client and a relationship. So it's going to fall back on me. So I always make sure that I give them a structured plan. I work with them through the plan, but it's on them to be able to be disciplined enough to be able to go through the process, because I can give you the plan, but you have to execute it.
Right. Right.
I'm not the one that I'm not your accountant, so I don't handle your money. So you have to be able to be disciplined enough to be able to do it. So that's what we do, as far as the credit and, building the credit and the credit repair and getting them ready for, home ownership.
Now let me ask you this. How important, okay, so I always use myself as examples. So I've paid off credit debt. So now my credit report, I don't owe nobody. Okay. Thank God. So only how I'm living now is what I'm paying out or whatever.
Okay.
But now that I've cleared up everything and my credit score has shot up and everything is looking beautiful, I'm getting all types of credit card offers. So I just rip them up and throw them away. I don't deal with them. I'm kind of afraid of credit cards. So I have one credit card that is through, yeah, I only have one credit card and it's through my credit union. And I maintain that one. I usually travel with it. So, when I go back and forth to Atlanta to see my son, that's what I'm using. And then I pay it off and then I do it all over again. How important is it to have multiple credit cards, or what should be the credit card limit that a person should have?
There is no credit card limit.
Uh-oh.
The more credit you have, the better you look.
Okay.
I know it sounds crazy. I know you've seen those people when they flip over there, as my mom used to say, the billfold, and you see all those credit cards, you looking like, what?
Yeah.
But it looks good. And this is the reason why. You don't pay taxes on debt. So you use your credit cards to fund your everyday lifestyle. I had a guy, he used to pay his rent with his credit card because it's giving you the activity that you need to get that score up as high as you can. The more you spend on there and the faster you pay it back, the higher your credit score is going to be. So the more credit lines that you have, the longer your account history and the larger your credit lines, the more you're going to get to that 800, 850. They're going to keep you at that 7, because that's like about to be average, because I'm pretty sure they're about to move the finish line again.
Okay.
Because I remember when I first was getting credit, like when I was like 18, like 750 was like excellent.
Yeah.
Now it's 850. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep on inching it and inching it and inching it. So the more credit lines that you have, the better you look. But the thing is, you have to choose the right ones. Okay. You choose the ones that give you rewards. Like you travel. Do you get travel rewards?
No.
So you need a travel rewards credit card. That same credit card that you use on an everyday basis, you can use to pay your cell phone bill, pay your light bill, put gas and buy groceries with. You can get your airline for free, your plane ticket for free, hotels for free. You don't have to come out of pocket for that by using it for your everyday use. Okay. So we have to learn how to leverage it in the right way. Credit, money is all about leverage. How can I use this to get more? Okay. So you have to learn how to leverage it. And it's nothing wrong with a lot of credit cards, but you just have to have the right ones. The city banks, the Chase, Capital One is, it's okay, to start off with, but the Chase and the city banks will, starting off with those will help you be able to establish that relationship, and you can leverage them like, hey, once you have them for like 3 to 6 months, like, hey, American Express offered me this credit limit. What you gonna offer me? And guess what? They're gonna increase your limit because they want you to stay.
Okay.
So you got to learn how to work them like they work you. And the banks is the same way, because people use their debit card for everything to pay for their everyday lifestyle, but the bank is making money off you. You're not making money off the bank. You get what, 2% maybe if you got in a savings account, 1%. You're making nothing. They're making more money off of you. They're using your money to make more money for them.
Yeah.
So you have to do them in the same way. Instead of spending your money, I would use my debit card for like clothes and shoes and, stuff like that. Use your cash for that. But when I'm trying to, I'm paying for gas, I'm paying for groceries, my cell phone bill, anything that I know that I'm gonna have the money for, I'm gonna use my credit card for, because it's gonna increase. Everything is based on like a system, algorithm. So the more you use it, the more you spend on it, the more that money they're gonna want to give you.
Okay.
The more they see you paying it down and paying it off, the more money they're gonna want to give you. So those travel credit cards are the best ones. If you are a traveler like myself, and you can use that instead of using, the credit card just to be using it. You can get your stuff for free. You don't have to pay for an airline ticket. You don't have to pay, because why not get rewarded for the money that you're spending? That's what
Right.
that's what it's about. So you just got to choose the right ones and use it in the right way. Don't use your credit card to go out to eat with your friends, or unless it's a business write-off. That's
Right.
something different.
Right.
But don't use it for, buying the designer clothes and doing all of that. No, use it for stuff that you already have the money for and you can pay off. And don't use your credit if you don't have the cash to pay for it either.
Okay.
The
Okay.
credit cards are not bad. It's just the way we use them.
Yeah, and I think I was just tainted so early on because, as you stated, when you first graduate from high school, you turn 18, everybody gives you credit. It's like they just throwing cards at you.
Yeah.
And I remember then I did have a little billfold. And I was just buying up, I'm shopping, I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
And I was working, but I wasn't making enough to support what I was spending. So I ended up in debt. And I remember, I think by the time I was like 23, 25, I was filing bankruptcy
Yeah.
to get from up under it all. And you know what I'm saying? And then I had to start over again with building up, which is how I ended up with the credit union, because at that time they were the only ones willing to take a risk and bet on me and give me an account. And the credit union was really instrumental in helping me reestablish and building myself back up financially that way and everything. So ever since then, I've just been kind of like turned off of credit cards, like just afraid of them. Like, I don't want to put myself back through it
You're
again.
not the only one.
So
Everybody, I mean, how many people tell me that? Like, but you missing out on a whole lot of money. That's what the wealthy do. They don't use their cash. They use credit. They use debt. Because guess what? They don't pay taxes on it. And they use it for leverage. I had one lady, she told me she let her 401k sit there, yeah, but she gonna borrow from her 401k and she gonna go and invest, flip it, put that money back, and she done made more money.
wow.
People use, you can't just let stuff just sit and you think it's gonna grow. It's not growing fast enough. It's really not. People have bought homes with credit cards.
Wow.
Down payments. I mean, use their credit cards for down payments.
Yeah.
Because it's ways that you can do it. You don't have to use your cash for everything. Everything out here it's for you to be wealthy and I had to learn this while on this entrepreneurial journey. Everything is leverage. You use your credit for leverage. You use, your credit for, to buy more things that's going to grow and help you make more money.
Right.
You use it to buy assets. You use it to get rewards, so you get free stuff, so you don't have to use more. You have more cash to do whatever you want to do with that to invest in something else, or flip it, or however you want to do it. So it's all about leverage. That's what I tell people about buying a home. Everybody don't want to start with this small home. Oh, it's this and it's that. But you coming from the project, sweetie.
Yeah.
It's okay. The starter home is what all you got to do is stay in there 2 to 3 years, grow the equity, use that equity to get you the bigger home. Yeah. Everybody don't want to wait, and it's all about leverage. Now, if you get a big income boost, or you win the lottery, or, you get an inheritance, of course you can go from there to there, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that doesn't happen for everybody.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you work with what you have right now and what you can do, leverage it 2-3 years, take that money. You can keep that home as an investment property, make money off of it, use the equity of that home to pay for your nice down payment. If you got $100,000, that's a good down payment.
Yes, it is. Yes,
And
it
you guess
is.
what? If you come to the lender or the bank and say, I got $100,000 to put, you think they won't give you a $300,000 or $400,000 home?
Right.
They will. And guess what? You're gonna do the same thing with that one. Stay in it, build up the equity, use it. And you want to move, if you don't want to keep that house, then you can sell it and use that chunk to buy the bigger house.
Yeah.
It's all about leverage. It's all about using, starting small, leveraging that to level up to the next level. Everybody don't want to start on the first step. Everybody want to go to step 10.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I had to learn that. I'm a victim of that, because you see all of these things on Instagram and Facebook, and you see all these people living this life and they got the cars and they do all that, but you don't know their backstory and what they did to do it.
Right.
You see what's in front of them. They did the same thing. They used their credit for leverage, and they started off small, and then they used that small to get to the next. They used that next to get to the next level, and they just stacked it.
Yeah. And I've said this multiple times on here, like we have to crawl before we walk. Even
Yeah.
with babies, they scooted, they crawled, they stood up, they took a step, then they took more steps, and then they began to run. So it's
Yeah.
that process with life. We have to learn how to take those steps and go through the process and be patient with it, and
Right.
not, like you said, always just want everything quick microwave. We have to stand over the stove and stir that pot sometimes to get the
Right.
result that
Cook
we
it in the
want.
crock pot. Let it simmer.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to do that though. So, you know,
So are there specific programs for, say, someone who is looking to purchase? You know how they have like FHA, first home buyers. Are those programs universal throughout states? Because you're in Tennessee now. So I
yes.
know here in Michigan, they have those first home buyers programs. Do they have those also where you are?
Yes, they do. They have them all across the United States. You just have to get with the right lender that has the particular program that work for you. So there's different ones. You have ones that are that will add like an extra, like you have a second mortgage on, which means that you'll have your regular mortgage, and then you'll have another one that because you got the home, you have to pay that money back. You have some that are basically grants where you don't have to pay them back. You have some that are just zero down programs, because a lot of states are giving a lot of money for home ownership, because the thing is, the more homeowners that they have, the more taxes to the city.
Mm-hmm.
The more renters, they're not getting, especially like here in Tennessee, because we don't have state tax.
Okay.
So they need that county and city tax. Yeah, they tax us twice here.
Okay.
So you had a county and city tax, and if you don't have a home, you're not paying it.
Right.
So they losing money. So they're giving incentives to buy homes, and a lot of states are doing that don't have that city tax. I mean that city tax or double taxation, or they don't have that income, the state income tax to get that money, because the income taxes, the taxes is what drives, that pays for the schools,
Yeah.
that pays for roads, and all of those different things, that the infrastructure that the state needs. So they need people to pay those taxes to them. So
Okay.
they need it. So they giving those incentives away. They're giving that money away. So you just have to find the right lender in your area that has the program that fits for you. But you have to have a certain credit score. Like when the pandemic first was going on, because they had, they was trying to give, they was giving all the money away. It was a 620. Now I think the minimum, well, I know for sure the minimum is like 640. Some of them are 650. Some of them have even went up to 680. It just all depends. So your credit score does play a role in what program you can get. Now you can buy a house with a 580, but you have to come with some money.
So when we looking at that and we're planning for home ownership, so we've gone through our financial literacy plan. We've worked it. We've gotten our credit together. Say we found a great program that's going to help us with down payment costs or anything, or those type of things. So what type of interest rates should a first time homeowner be looking at?
Well, you always will want to, focus on, the thing is the interest rates are going to continue to rise. So, I mean, really, it's just based on what you can afford at the time and what program you choose as far as the first time home buyer program. Because like I said, some programs are a higher interest rate than some, because if you are getting and it depends on your loan type too.
Okay.
So if sometimes you'll have that PMI, which is the mortgage insurance that's on there, which adds extra interest to your your interest rate, your standard interest rate. And a lot of banks are not telling people that. They go with, oh, I got this interest rate, and then they come back and see the paperwork and they have that PMI on there, and which increases the interest rate. So it just all depends on the loan that you have, like FHA conventional. The only thing that can really ensure that you get a lower interest rate is you have a high credit score.
Higher credit score. Right.
That's just, the higher your credit score, the lower your interest.
Okay.
I mean, that's just how it works. And especially with it, continue to creep up, it's still good to buy though, because
Yeah.
rent is way more than buying a home right now. That's why getting your finances in order is so important. So it just all depends on the loan structure. So like, for example, I had a client that he was young, and he had his own money though. So he didn't use any first time home buyer programs or anything like that. So he got a good interest rate because he had a 760 credit score. He came with his own down payment. He came with his own closing costs. So he didn't, and he had a conventional loan. So he didn't have that PMI on that mortgage insurance on there that that was going to increase his interest rate. But you can always, that can, once you get into your home, you can refinance it later on though and get a lower interest rate. It's the whole point is to get into the home. I mean, you might pay, you just have to do it in a time frame, because the longer you wait, the more money you have paid out. But you can still get in the home, with a, if it's, it's not going to be too high, but you can still refinance it later on and get a lower interest rate.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into the investment property. How does a person actually get started into investing? And what type of properties, like if I wanted to purchase investment properties, what should I be looking at or focusing on?
Well, it all depends on what you want to do with it. So there's many sectors of investment properties. You have single family homes, you have multi-families from like duplexes to fourplexes. Then you have the five or more units. So it just all depends on if you want to buy and hold, if you want, which means like you buy it and you put your tenant in there and you rent it out. If you want to fix and flip, where you just buy it at a, lowest prices you can, fix it up and then resell it. Or you want to wholesale, which you basically, you take you get a house under contract and you sell that contract to somebody else. People make a lot of money doing that. And that's more hands off. So you don't own the asset, and you don't have to put any money up front on that. It's making money from it. So it just all depends on what avenue you want to take. If you want to do Airbnb, where you buy a property and you or let's just say short-term rental, and you do like a short-term rental, and you want to just have people coming in every so often, every week, every few days, or having that residual income every month, just like a regular tenant problem. The thing is with that, you don't have a long-term tenant, so you don't suffer. Sometimes the tenants don't treat your property right.
Right.
So with the short-term rentals, you got people coming in and out, so they're not thinking about damaging your property. They're just looking to come and have a good time, to rest or whatever. Whereas you have the tenant that sometimes don't take care of your property. You got to go in and fix it up. And not saying that short-term rental people don't have that type of problem, but it just don't happen as often. But it just all depends on like what you feel like you want to do. So if you feel like you want the residual income where it's coming in every month, then you'll buy and hold or fix, do the short-term rentals. If you want to, just want to be, you don't want to own any properties and you still want to make money in real estate, you can do the wholesaling part where you just, do assignment contracts and you just get paid like that. You can even invest in, form an investment group, and you guys buy commercial properties like hotels, and it's a lot of people that's doing that, where they form these investment groups and they invest together into hotels, and everybody has to come with a certain amount of money, and then they get the financing, and then you can do that. That's kind of hands off because you got other people that's managing it, and then you still have it where when you have the buy and hold, you can always do a management company to manage it as well. So it just all depends on what you feel like is best for you and what your passion is, because it's tricky and it's a hard game. So you got to figure out like what your niche is and what you feel like you want to do, and have an exit strategy.
So let's get into your business. Tell us the name of your company.
My company is called Exquisite Dreams Properties, LLC. So, and I also have Exquisite Dreams Consulting. So that is my real estate investment company and my consulting company that I have. And I started it with my friend, excuse me. And, excuse me. But right now, I'm doing it by myself because she decided that she didn't want to do it anymore, which is fine. Still my bestie, no harm, no foul. So I'm in rebuilding mode right now, doing it on my own. So I'm just looking for partnerships, mentorships, because it's good to have a mentor in this space. And I had to learn that too, because it's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And if you want to go ahead and do it quickly, it's good to have a coach. It's good to have a mentor. The money that you pay a mentor is the best investment that you're going to ever have, because they're going to show you how to make way more money than you invested with them.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that as well, because, it seemed like, at first it's like, oh man, you got to pay how much? Oh, but you got to think about it in the grand scheme of things. If I pay somebody $3,000 to teach me how to do this, and I can go and make $50,000.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that $3,000 gave me way more than a double return, because you always want to look how you can double your money. But if you can 10x that thing, like Grant Cardone say, it's like, it's well worth it.
Right. It's like not looking at just the frame, but the entire picture.
Yeah.
Like it's more things happening in that picture than that one cutout frame. So yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
And that's the thing, I had to get past that part, because, and a lot of people, and I'm talking to myself, a lot of people, we spend money on things that don't bring us any value.
Right.
And people, time is a currency. People's time is a currency, and we have to realize that they don't have to do this. And they should get paid for their time, because they're taking their secrets that they've learned how to make millions or be successful to give it to you. So you're supposed to get it for free?
Right.
Do you go to college for free? Do you go to the club for free? Do you go to Gucci for free?
Right.
Go to Louis Vuitton for free?
Right.
So I had to kind of look at it like that, because I once I got into the service business, like, I gave my time as a teacher, and that's what I was supposed to do. But when people start sucking your time, you realize that time is a currency. And you should get paid for your time when you coaching and helping people and doing all those things, because a lot of people take what you have and they go and run with it and do it with somebody else. I've had that happen to me. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people charge what they charge, because you can go and, I at least got paid for my time that I spent with you, even if you go and take it to somebody else. But if I give it to you for free, you go take it to somebody else, I gain no value from that.
Right.
And you took time away from me that I could have been spending with somebody else that valued my time.
Right.
So I get it. And, it took me, some time to really understand how important a coach and a mentor is, even though I was a basketball coach. you know, so I had to realize that these coaches and these mentors and, because I can read all day long, but it's the application and the execution that's the problem. I can learn, I
Yeah.
know the knowledge, but now when it's time to execute, I'm like, what do
Right.
I say?
What
What
to
I
do
do?
first? What steps
What-
to take? Yeah.
Yeah, it's this whole different thing. You can read all the books in the world, but the execution and the style, because everything is about building rapport and getting yourself in the door. That cannot be, if you're not a natural person that knows how to do that, and even if you could do that in another sector, you still got to say the right words to frame you to get a seller to agree to the terms that you want them to agree
Yeah.
to get a buyer to agree with the terms you want them to agree. You have to be able to see how these people are doing it, hear the words, because it's all about the words.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just, like I said, it just all depends. And coaching and mentoring is like, if you want to get into it, getting the right coach and interview these people, talk to these people. Don't just go with the first person you see. They might not be a right fit for you. I know a lot of people like they are successful and do, but you might not like their coaching or teaching style. It might not work for you.
Right. It's like
So,
trying on a pair of shoes, right? You
yeah,
try that pair of shoes on, it don't look right, it don't fit the exact. So you have to move on to the next pair.
right. Like I can't get a Christian Louboutin because I wear 11 and they run small. And that 12 still not gonna fit me. So it don't fit. So I gotta try somebody else.
Right.
So it just all depends on you. You have to be comfortable with that person. You have to they have to relate to you, because first you are paying them, but you have to learn from them. And if you can't observe what they learn, you didn't wasted your money, and then you got to go and try to find somebody else and spend more money.
Right.
So you have to get to know that some people are more aggressive than others. I'm an aggressive person. Being from Detroit, I'm aggressive. I'm a city girl. So I can come off a little aggressive. You might not like that. You might need somebody that has a softer approach.
Right.
So it just all depends. Like I need somebody to be like, look, like, that's just me. But some people need somebody to be like, see, he said this. See, that's gonna make me mad. So I so I can't do that. I need somebody to be hard nosed with me. So
with the consulting company, what are you doing on that side of it? Is that the credit side of it, the consulting?
yeah, so I'm working with a company now, United Wealth Education, but I do plan on branching out and doing a little bit more on the credit side. Once I still a lot to learn, so I'm still learning. So I just started that. So once I get more education, because I've only been doing it a year, but I've learned so much by fixing my own credit. Because when I first started out, I had a 576 credit score, 567. And I was trying to go out and get funded for my business, couldn't get nothing.
Oh, wow.
And everybody, and that's what I'm saying, like everybody tell you, oh, use other people's money, you can go this and that. Yeah. So, and I didn't know about creative financing at that time, and I don't know how to do that. It's the word. You got to get somebody to agree to those terms. So I didn't know anything about that. So I just decided to look, I need to fix my credit too, because this is ridiculous. So people don't tell you that the personal guarantee has to come from you first before you can even use your business credit. You have to build up your own personal credibility first. Your credit profile, your credit file has to be stout.
Yeah.
In order for somebody to even let you even use your business credit, because they need to see how you handle your own finances. And if you can handle your business finances, you can't handle your personal finance. You can't handle your business finances.
Right.
So, I had to fix my credit on my own, and the company helped me be able to do that. The first 40 days, my credit score shot up 93 points.
Oh.
I got 2 bankruptcies removed. I had a collection removed and all my inquiries and some late payments removed. And it shot my credit score like 93 points. So it worked for me, but everything, it don't work for everybody.
Right.
It's not a one size fit all. So that's why I said I started my consulting company, because I want to still be able to help people that cannot be helped through that system, because there's so many different systems out there that can work, but everything doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
So I want to just bridge it out a little bit more. I still want to have that sector because we have helped a lot of people. And thousands upon thousands of people have fixed their own credit, earned the extra income, and are making 6, 7, 8 figures by helping other people. So it works.
Yeah.
I've seen it for myself. But sometimes our system don't work for everybody. So that's why I said I wanted to bridge the gap to be able to still be able to help more people by being able to offer more services outside of just what we offer. So that's just the consultant part.
Yeah, and I wish I would have had that several years ago. This was like even before my mother had passed away, and I was ready to buy a house. Like, oh my God, I'm ready. I went through like this first home buyers program where you have to go through like their class, and once you go through the class, they give you up to $3,000 for your down payment and so forth. So I went through all of that, got a pre-approval. I was so excited on my pre-approval, like, yay. And I took that pre-approval as an actual approval. Okay, so I got with a real estate agent here, and we looking at properties and homes, and I finally found one that I just fell in love with. Beautiful home, beautiful space. I was seeing where I was going to be able to get my mom there, and she wouldn't, it had a ramp for her so she could get in and out easy and everything. So I go through with getting inspections and everything. Like, I'm so super excited. This was the first time. And we get ready to go to the closing, and I have my little money. I didn't finish the program, so now this program is going to give me some money. And they tell me, oh, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to move forward because of your student loan. And I'm like, why didn't somebody tell me that before? Like, why did you let me go through this whole process of 3 months to find the perfect home and inspections and everything else, to tell me now you're not gonna go through with it because I have student loans? You know what I'm saying? And I was so heartbroken. So I wish I would have had somebody at that time that was giving me that type of credit counseling, or that type of an insight to where I didn't get my hopes built up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then just let down. Like, I just remember sitting there in that office just bawling, like boo-hoo. Yeah. My mother was like, don't cry, baby. Maybe God got something better in store. And I'm like, but why? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just could not understand how you allowed me to go through this whole process and didn't tell me that this was going to be an issue when we get to the table.
Yeah, see, that was the lender's fault. I mean, I hate to say that, but it happens like that. I almost lost my home at the closing table too, because they check your credit multiple times during the process, the underwriting process and everything. They check it at the beginning, they check in the middle, like, especially if it takes you a longer time, if it takes you more, like 3 months or more to be able to, so they're going to continue to check it to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do and you still qualify. And then you haven't went and bought nothing, you're not doing all excessive spending and all of that. And I almost lost mine at the closing table because something came back on my credit that was a zero balance that I paid off as a collection. It wasn't even on it when they first did my credit, and they did it second time, nothing. And it's all soft pulls because, it's the same lender, the same company that's pulling your credit. So it's not a hard inquiry. So that's why you don't see it as many times on it. It's still counted as one.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people do, like, be afraid of too. Like, why they got to check my credit so many times? Baby, you're only going to lose maybe a point. Calm down. It's the same lender that's going to check your credit the same. So that's not, you're not getting more. It's only when you go to Chase Bank, to Bank of America, to Wells Fargo, and they see all them different banks on there, that becomes a problem. But I had to get on the phone with Chase. Like, what are you doing? I paid this off. This is not a collection. It's collection zero balance. And because it said collection, I almost lost my house. Wow. And they had to send a letter over right then and there. They had to fax a letter over right then and there stating that I did not owe that debt.
Okay.
So I know. It almost happened to me, but it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to people where they had to bring the keys back.
Oh, I would have died.
You have to bring the keys back.
Oh
Because
my goodness.
once they, because it's still like you still got a closing process. Once they process the paperwork, they had to bring the keys back. You don't
Oh,
qualify anymore.
that is so sad. Like when I
It
tell
is.
you, like the heartbreak in that moment is just, it's just so
Yeah.
sad. So let me ask you this about Exquisite. Okay, I love the name.
Yeah.
You see, I keep doing my little shimmy with
Yeah. It makes you want to say,
it. So what I know it's a hard business being in the real estate business. You have so many different people. How do you maintain or stay above the competition with male counterparts? You have your, the Caucasians counterparts and so forth. So how do you stick out and stand out for your clientele?
nobody is like me. I bring me. I bring my genuine nature. I bring my caring spirit. I go over and beyond what I need to do in order to help you, and you can see that. I'm never closed off. I might, if I don't answer the phone, I'm calling you back. I I just bring my my whole being. I put my whole self into helping and serving you. I have a heart of service. I have a heart to serve. My job is not to think about how much money I'm going to make off of this. My job is to figure out how can I get you to the place that you need to be.
Yeah.
That's my first thing. I've been a teacher, and that's what my whole thing was. I know what it is to work and don't get paid what you're worth. So I don't worry about that. Yes, I want to get paid, but that's not the first thing that's on my mind. My first thing on my mind when it comes to my credit clients is to help you as fast as I can and possibly can, to be there for you, to walk you through this process and to get you to where you need to be. My real estate clients, I am here to walk you through the process, and anything that goes wrong, I'm going to try to put that fire out. Well, no, I'm going to put the fire out. I'm going to use every resource that I have, from mentors to lenders to whoever I have to talk to put this fire out for you. You don't have to worry about it, because it's my duty to serve you and be able to give you that service that you expect and that you deserve from somebody that's helping you buy a one of the largest purchases you're gonna ever purchase in your lifetime.
Right. Right.
So it's my duty to give you everything that's in me to get you to that finish line, which is that closing table, which is those keys, which is that continuous living. That's I want you to build wealth. I want to be the person to help you build wealth, and I will do whatever I need to do to be able to do that. So, I mean, of course, everybody probably says that, but I feel like I bring a unique thing to the table because I am a natural nurturer because of my time in teaching. Like, my time in teaching has taught me how to deal with different personalities. So I know how to approach you. I know how to accommodate what I need to accommodate. I know how to get on you in a nature that will push you, but not, you know, bring you down.
Yeah.
So, because I know how to, I'm a good motivator. That's what I used to have to do every single day. When you see those children coming to you and they with dirty clothes, and they didn't, their mama boyfriend and did something to them, or,
Oh,
their mom then left them with all the kids, and they don't have their own life, or, they don't even have a home. They living from couch to couch to couch. You have to learn how to be able to be compassionate in different ways for different people.
yes.
So everybody doesn't need the same care. Everybody doesn't need the same voice from you. It has to be different. So I've learned I feel like my teaching has prepared me to be able to deal with all the people that I have to serve, that I need to serve. And my point, my whole being is to educate you first, to help you execute second and be able to get you to where you need to be. So that's just how I feel like I set myself apart. Now, I don't know how many people say that. I don't know how many people do that. I just know that I'm gonna be hard on you when I need to be. I'm gonna make you laugh when I need to be. I'm gonna be compassionate when I need to be. I'm gonna be there for you when I need to be. And I'm gonna give you all of me.
Girl, you
So
making me want to move to Tennessee just to get a house from. Like I'm ready to put all my trust in your process.
listen, I mean, but everything that I've done so far has prepared me to do this. That's how I feel. Like I said, I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer.
Yeah.
With my own sports agency, because I'm a sports girl. I love sports, So, my path is just turned into a different trajectory. But I mean, I have always been a person that always wanted to help. Even as a kid, I've always been like that.
Well, God had his plan for you. He wanted you to help people in a different way. So, I always say that everybody's purpose is different, and your purpose doesn't mean you have to be in a pulpit. Your purpose
Right.
is however it is that, like you said, you're a natural person for serving others. So this is how you're able to fulfill that purpose and serve others in a way that is taking them to home ownership, something that they may not have even thought that they could acquire. You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot of people
Like,
don't believe they can.
yeah, and look at you, you're making that difference and that change in their life, and you're helping them fulfill their dreams. And I think that that's beautiful right there, because like you said, a lot of realtors are looking at what is the commission I'm going to get off of this? How much money am I going to make off of this? And you're looking more so as, how can I help this person accomplish what they want to accomplish in the terms of home ownership, by helping with their credit and everything else. So, and I think that's kudos to you, because my realtor didn't look at me like that. She didn't look at like, let me talk to this girl about these student loans and help her figure that out. She was just like, oh, we got a pre-approval, go find a house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that was it. So, kudos to you for being the realtor
Thank
that
you.
cares.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. You are exquisite, girl. You better tell them who you are.
Look, I think that's gonna be my new exquisite. Like, I think that's gonna be it right there.
I think that was pretty much all I had as far as like talking points for us. But I just want to, before I let you get up out of here, because I know you have a busy roster going
You
on.
hear both my phones ringing. Like, look.
Right, I don't want to keep you from your people. But if you could leave us with a thought or a process that we should be thinking of when we're preparing for home ownership, what would be the key thing that you would tell your client?
The key thing I will tell you is you have to change your mindset from a poverty mindset to a I can, I will, I do. And then once you can do that, then you can get to the wealth mindset.
Okay.
Before, you cannot attain anything until you change your mindset. You cannot see anything when you have the blinders on of poverty. You cannot see past your own, what you see in front of you, until you can take those blinders off and say, oh, I can go all the way over there. So it's all about the mentality. It's all about your mindset. If you feel like your life is not going to change, you feel like you can't be a homeowner, I'm gonna forever rent, I'm gonna forever have this, that's what you're going to forever have. It's all about, it comes from your mind thinking that you can, you will, you do, to when you speaking it. Every day I have on my mirror, I think millions, I make millions, I net millions, I receive millions.
Amen.
You have to be able to, you got to be able to think it first in order for you to be able to make it.
Yes.
So you have to say, I think about home ownership. I'm going to be a homeowner. I am a homeowner. now I can obtain wealth. So generational wealth comes with generational knowledge. So, but it comes with a mindset. So you have to change your mindset to thinking outside of what you can see. I know it might look bad if you living in your studio, your 1 bedroom, you hear gunshots out, fire outside, and people are, dying around you. And it just seemed like it's just, this is it for me. But if you think that's it for you, that's what it's going to be.
Yes. Yes.
Same thing. Everybody didn't come from money.
Right.
Some people came from the bottom. One of my mentors that is with UWE, he used to pick up trash on South Beach in Miami. He just bought an $11 million home.
Ooh,
at
Lord.
29.
Look at that. Look at that.
But it came with changing his mindset.
Yeah.
So, who would think that a person that's picking up trash will be living in a 22,000 square foot home right now?
Right.
So, everybody didn't come from money, but it's all about how you feel, how you see it, and it's going to be hard, but you got to go through the process. A diamond doesn't come out a diamond. Right. It was heat. It was pressure. It was darkness. And you're going to experience all of that, but can you see past it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, TD Jakes, I just saw one of his, TD Jakes, and he was saying the same thing, like, what you think matters. If you think negative thoughts, then negative things comes from that. If you think the positive thoughts, then positive things can come from that. So,
Yeah.
The mindset is very important. It's about how you look at yourself and the life that you want. And you have to stay diligent in that positive mind frame and putting in the work, because it's not just, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow, you're going to wake up and it's $1 million. No, like you said, it's some work involved. It's the pressure, it's the heat. You're going to go through dark moments and dark times and all of that kind of stuff, but you have to stay consistent, stay in the pocket. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Keep working your process and know that you have to be patient with yourself and with the outcome you're looking for. And you just have to work those steps, each and every step, and cross each one off, like write it. I always have to write it out. This is what I want to accomplish. And this is what it's going to take to get to it. And as I accomplish each thing, I cross it out like, ooh, I'm one step closer. Oh,
write it out and write it down and make it plain.
Right. And then before I know it, I'm like, oh my God, I made it.
Habakkuk 2 and 2. I think that's Habakkuk 2 and 2. Don't give me the line. I said, I think that's Habakkuk 2 and 2. Don't quote me. But you write it down and make it plain.
Yeah, but definitely. So I hope you guys learned something here today. If you're in the Tennessee area, shout out my girl at Exquisite. Let her get you in that home, baby. Let her help you build your credit, get your finances in order so you can get into the home of your dreams, whether it's an investment property or the home your forever home.
Well, I can help people all across the United States too, though.
Oh, do you?
I have my credit repair company. It's all across the United States and U.S. territories. If you're looking for investment money, I could do that in all 50 states as well. So, I can only sell you real estate here, but I can still help you find a real estate agent in your area.
So. Girl, you just got a client. Like, for real, like, we'll talk more off air so I can tell you what I'm trying to do with Faithfully Her. So yeah, you just got a client. So yes, people all over 50 states, if you need that credit help, you need that advice, you need that counseling, let Toria be the one to help you. As you see, she's passionate about what she does. She's passionate about the people that she's serving, and she is here to help you walk through those steps and get you to your goals and your dreams, okay? So I'm going to put all the information in the description box. We will have her IG, her Facebook, we will have her business email, and everything. So you will be able to reach her and get in touch with her and get your questions answered and get yourself going on the right track. You're never too old. You're never too young to start.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So don't think, oh my God, I'm 50. It's too late for me. It's never too late. I'm 47. Okay. It's never too late to go ahead on and get your dreams going and to fulfill those things. Anything else you want to leave us with before we sign off?
Well, I just want to give it back to you for this platform, for bringing me on here, for allowing me to speak to your audience, because networking is, you know, they say your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
Building this relationship with you, being, you know, from Michigan and everything like that. Kudos to all the things that you're doing. I see you have your line behind you. You are passionate about what you're doing. Your logo is fire. I love that.
That's
And
my favorite lady.
yeah. So just giving it back to you for this time, because you didn't have to seek me out, because you came to me in my inbox. And I'm so glad that you did.
I slid in your DMs.
Did in my DMs. And I'm so glad that you did, because like I said, you have let me use your platform to help me grow my business. And I really appreciate that. I really do.
No, you know what? I learned so much today, and I'm so grateful to you for telling me not to be afraid of credit cards. So,
use it to make more money.
Right. Like, you know, because I wasn't thinking of it as taking that to capitalize and use, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking of it that way. I'm just looking at it as another debt, another bill, another, you know what I'm saying? So thank you for teaching us that, because I think a lot of us might look at credit like that, like, oh my God, another credit bill. It's another something I'm gonna have to budget and figure out how I'm gonna have to pay it. So I'll just stay away from it. So thank you for giving us that frame of thought as to how to use our credit and how to capitalize on it to make it work for us instead of against us. Right. So that right there was like worth everything. To everybody else, again, everything that you need will be in the description box, so you could contact Toria and you can get the help and the education that you need to become homeowners, investment owners. If you have a group of friends and y'all been talking about, hey, how can we build and make money? Maybe you can form that investment group together, and Toria can help you further that thought process and put it in fruition for you. Okay. So to all of my faithfully hers out there, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of our conversation. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Leave questions in the comment section for Toria. If you have extra, you know, questions and you want to know more, put those comments in there and we'll make sure that they get to her and that she's able to reach back out and answer those for you. Other than that, as always, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. Thank you, babies. God bless and have a great week in Christ. Toria, stay right there.
Okay.